So that's just about it for speed reading itself. Like we said, speed reading itself isn't that complicated at all to teach or to learn, but doing it with high comprehension and retention will be pretty challenging. The rest of the course, especially if you're enrolled in our masterclass, will deal largely with techniques to adapt your skills to other disciplines and strategies and tools to improve your long-term retention. On top of all of that, we're going to give a lot of lifestyle and environmental adjustments that you should consider to ensure that your brain is functioning at its absolute best. This is really important and impactful stuff, and so you should continue to watch all of these lectures even as you practice your speed reading. Just remember that you are responsible for being a self-directed learner and for your success or failure going forward, so don't neglect speed reading or marker training just because you've learned about a shiny new technique for learning foreign language words. In order to ensure that you succeed in your self-directed training, we want to set out some guidelines for you. First and foremost, remember to practice as many days a week as possible, with at least 4 practice sessions a week. We're pretty sure that you read something every day, even if it's just blog posts, and so you should be speed reading as much of the material as possible. If you're doing something very important for school or for work, you may need to speed read it a few times to get the level of comprehension necessary, but don't let that be an excuse to fall back on subvocalization. Simply utilize the techniques we've taught you, such as the self-testing protocol and the card trick, and make sure that your required reading is a great opportunity to practice while killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You should practice these skills for a few weeks or even a few months in order to really start seeing these dramatic improvements. Sometime in the next couple of weeks, if you're practicing diligently, it's all going to click. And all of a sudden, you're going to feel like Bradley Cooper in the movie Limitless. You'll be moving your eyes in choppy movements across the page, and somehow you'll be understanding everything that is written, turning pages at a comically fast rate and causing curious onlookers to watch in amazement. When people tell you stories or you listen to the radio, you'll be generating markers instantly without even knowing it, and you'll be linking them to existing knowledge in your densely interconnected neural networks. From my experience, in time, you'll feel that all of your cognitive faculties are dramatically improved and that you have a seemingly endless body of information from which you can draw upon or connect new memories to. And these effects will only continue to develop, and they'll become more dramatic and more effortless as your brain becomes more skilled, more interconnected, and more densely packed with incredible knowledge. I can honestly admit that after years of using these techniques every day, I feel like a completely different person, almost as if I have superpowers. But sometimes you'll slip back into old habits. You'll start subvocalizing and not even realize it. You'll forget people's names and be embarrassed when they remember yours. Hey, I do these things as well sometimes. It's perfectly understandable and it's perfectly normal. It takes a very long time to overcome years and years of slow reading and subvocalization, and quite honestly, I don't know if it ever truly becomes fully second nature. After all, I've been speed reading for only 4 years at the time of this recording, but before that, I subvocalized for almost 20 years. I'll let you know in another 20 years if it ever becomes truly natural to speed read, but until then, I just have to remind myself every time I look at a text to use my good speed reading habits. This is kind of like reminding myself to sit up straight instead of slouching into my chair every time I sit down. Yeah, it takes a little bit of effort and discipline, but it's well worth it. Most importantly, don't lose focus or get frustrated. If you need, you can always return back to the lessons and the exercise and really review the fundamentals. In fact, I strongly recommend you do so. I also strongly recommend you participate in the discussions in the Super Learner Facebook group, or consider joining our mastermind group if you're serious about advancing your skills and receiving lots of individualized coaching and attention from myself, Dr. Lev, and Professor Anna. No matter what issue you're struggling with, there's almost certainly someone else out there who's gone through it in the Super Learner community, and oftentimes they have a unique way to overcome it that will work well for you. So, keep up the practice and get excited for the next lectures, where we learn how to create and maintain high-quality memories long-term, how to design our learning environment and optimize our minds, and so much more.